Hi. Yesterday we went ahead and did our decorating and I finished mine, and for today I just put this in here to keep this closed, and eventually we're going to make a 4-fold to put in there. And on the other side I've gone ahead and put several big pictures which give lots of room for photos. I've also, when you pull this, put some places where you can put photos. And then I went ahead on this side and I put a fancy picture. Now, I put a magnet, and I get these, you can get them at Amazon, you can get them at Etsy. They're 1mm by 10mm, and they're pretty strong. They're neodyme, and they hold quite a lot. So that keeps this page from flipping out, and you can kind of see it's holding it. My other one, because it didn't have a magnet, yeah, see, it flipped out like that, but this will hold. So there you have it. That's our page 1. Today we're going to go ahead and put this in our book, and then we will go on to page 2. So this is basically the same as the other ones. I don't think we have to cut this, because I think it's going to just fit perfectly. I'm going to try it before yeah, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and push all of these down so that they're kind of out of the way. I will get my glue, and I'm going to put glue just on one side for now. I keep it a little bit away from my fold. And then the big thing is to go ahead and find that place that goes straight through. So that's what you want to attach to this. And this is a little tricky. There we go. And we'll push it the whole way down. Hold it tight. And that's it. I got a little too much there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish that. And the last album we made, we went ahead and put the pages in first. Since these are so complicated and have lots of flips and folds and other things, we're going to go ahead and just make these pages before we put them in. Okay, so I've gotten that much. I'm going to go ahead and lift up the flap and put quite a bit of glue in there. Push it down and burnish. So there we have one picture, one page in our book. So what I'd like to suggest, and see, this will keep this closed. What I'd like to suggest is go ahead and finish this. And basically it's the same as finishing a paper. You go ahead and mark it and cut it and then glue it. And you can put ephemera on it. We'll do some ephemera later. But there's our first page in our book. Yay! Looking good. I'm going to put that aside, and we're ready to do, I'm going to put my magnets away too so that I don't forget it. And then we're going to go ahead and go on to the second page. So what I have is I have one of my foundation pages, and I'm going to put the top and bottom. The open sides are on the right and left, and we're going to start with this. We're going to start by cutting these sizes. We're going to do a 6.5 by 3 1/4. So let me get my board. I'm going to open it up. Oops, wrong side. And I'm going to go ahead and get, now I have already cut the 7.5 by 7.5, and that's because it doesn't get any folds, and you can do that on your own. So there's our 7.5 by 7.5. But for now, let's do two pieces at 6.5 by 3 3/4. So let's do it this way. 6.5. and 3 3/4. There we go, we have those two. Oh, that looks like it will make a hinge. I'm going to show you what I use these for. Let me get this scored and folded and put away. We made this box, it's from Victoria's Secret, and we used chipboard on all the sides, and basically you cut this piece of chipboard and all of these, and they're pretty much laying flat, but then when you put them together, you will use these to hold this on the outside and on the inside. So these are really handy. If you ever have that size, just go ahead and keep it. Okay, so these have to be scored, and you can see I've underlined the 6 1/2, which means that I want my 6 1/2 side up on my ruler. And we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And just one side on 1/2 inch. Okay, and we're going to do the same on this one, 1/2 inch. Okay. And again, I have my 7 1/2 by 7 1/2, and you can cut yours. And then the next piece we need is a 7 1/2 by 5 inches. And nope, that won't fit. And we need 2 of those. There's a 5. Ooh, that's perfect. So I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to have to make another one. So let me get a piece of paper. And I don't have any of my scraps that are big enough to handle that. So what I want to do, I'm going to do my 7 1/2. I'm going to go ahead and score this while I'm thinking about it. Okay, that's 7 1/2, and I need 2 5 inches, and this 11 inch long should be just about perfect. So there's 1 5 inch. And there's your second 5 inch, and there's another inch. Woohoo! I am getting lots of these made today. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to take our 7 1/2 inch side up, because we're going to score that, and we want to do 1/2 inch score. And we'll do that on both of them. Okay, once we have that, I'm going to put my board down here for a minute, and we're going to go ahead and put this together on our first side. Now, make sure, again, like I said, that your openings are on the right and left-hand side. So the first thing we're going to do is, and you can see I've labeled these A, B, C, and then I make a little drawing with everything the way it is. I'm going to take my A pieces, which are the smaller pieces, the 6 1/2, and you can measure them. This is 3 3/4. And what we want to do is we want to put one at the top of the left-hand side and one at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. And make sure that it's even across here and across here. I'm going to burnish it down. And then we're going to do the same thing to this one. Oh, perfect. Perfect as I can be. And I am not perfect. Okay, so I want to go ahead and Match that to that and that. Burnish it down. Move all the excess glue. Open it and push it some more. Okay, there we have half of our, oh, and you know what I did? What I tell you not to do. I lost my pin. I usually put it in my shirt so that I don't do it, but I've gotten a little bit in the habit. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is our 7.5, we actually do want to score it on one side. So I'm going to lay this in here. And it doesn't matter which side because they're all 7.5, and I'm going to score one side of it. I am sorry, we could have done that earlier. I'm going to push that down, burnish it. So then what I'm going to do with this one is going to get connected to the right hand side on the open side. So, and let me put this in my shirt, I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this. And I want to make sure that these are even, these are straight. Push it down, they're not quite straight, but that's okay, we're going to fix that. So this is at the top, but this at the bottom is not quite, so I am going to take my scissors and just very lightly cut across that. Yeah, because it's fine here, just not at the end. Okay, so that's even. So then the last thing we want to do on this page is when we open it, and everything's open, including these, we want to take these 7.5 by 5s that we've made, and we are going to attach one at the top and one at the bottom. Oh dear, I thought I had those all scored. I'm sorry, let me score this one. 1/2 inch. I had only scored one. You need them both scored. Okay, so there we go. Now, what I'm going to do to make sure that I get it exactly in the middle is I'm going to take this edge and I'm going to put it up against one of my edges. I'm going to put it on this edge where it folds. And then I'm going to measure. And I have 2 inches, so that tells me I want 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side. So I'm going to put my ruler, and that's one of the reasons I really like these little rulers. You can see through them. And so when I need 1 inch, I just put that there. I have 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue. It's also 1 inch this way, and that might actually be a little better because we'll get it perfect down the edge. Okay, let's go ahead and glue this. And then I'm trying to get, oh boy, that just laid down so nice. It's perfect on this side, that side. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish really well and remove some of this excess glue so that that doesn't stick to my paper. So there's one. Now, I'm actually, I think that's going to work. Yeah. I'm actually going to go ahead and put my ruler here again, and I will put glue on my tab. And then I kind of hold this with my finger so it doesn't jiggle. And I'm going to push this. But then I'm going to pull this down to make sure that nothing's, and it doesn't. It just lays there perfectly. So now I can burnish this down. Before you burnish your glue down, you want to check and make sure that things are right where they should be. Okay, so there we go. There we have side 1 is done. That is not being nice. Okay, there we go. And Those look nice. So we're going to go ahead and cut for the second side, and the second side is 1 piece at 7 by 8.5, and this is going to be a pocket. So I've already gone ahead and made the pocket. I cut it first, and you all know how to cut it. And then since it's going to be a pocket, we want to, on the 8.5, make sure the 8.5 is up. We want to score on a 1/2 inch and an 1/8, and that's a 1/2 inch on both sides, and that's this. And then on the 7-inch side, with the 7-inch up, we want to just score one side at 1/2 inch, and that makes us a pocket. So we have that, and then we are going to do 2 at 6.5 by 5, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, not quite. Okay, so this is not wide enough. I always check my scraps first. So I know that this is 5.5 inches. Nope, it's only 5, so we have to start all over. Now 5.5 and 5.5 is 11, and my sheet is 11 inches. So I want to go ahead and turn it this way to cut my 6.5. And then I'm going to turn it 1/4 of a turn, and we're going to do 2 5.5 inches. So there's 1 5.5, and that should be exact. Nope, just a little bit off. Oh, I did 1/4. Oh, this is going to be smaller. It would have been perfect without. So let's do that again. I will save these for something else. I'm going to cut my 6.5 first. I'm so sorry. And then if I just cut it once, Carla, you'll have it. So we're going to do 5.5, and this should be 5.5. Oh, perfect. Okay, good. So we're going to score now. That's the next thing we need to do. So I hope this has made it easy for you. If you put your paper up and it's on the 6.5, I don't want to score the 6.5. I want to score the 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 5.5 up, and we want to do a 1/2 inch on one side. And the same here. That's 6.5, so I'm going to turn it 5.5 and score. Okay. So this is going to be the papers that we need for our second side of page 2. So I've drawn a little picture of what we're going to do. So let's get these put aside. Now again, you want to make sure this is the page that we already made, and you want to make sure that it's standing perfectly with the openings to the right and the left, and these 2 little folds are to the left. So when it's closed, we're just going to flip it 1 turn, and how did I, yeah, flip it 1 turn, sorry, so that we have our pristine side. And this is side 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pocket that we've made, and remember the little trick I showed you. We do the sides first, and then we put the bottom on, so that when we put something in here, it will slide clear to the bottom without getting stuck. Okay, so the other trick, since we're doing it that way, the other trick that you can do is you can glue the bottom, and I'm going to do that. And this helps you to get it lined up nicely. I'm going to go ahead and glue my bottom. And I will put it as close to the bottom edge as I can get it, and push. And I'm going to try and make sure that I don't have any glue to get caught. So then the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and do my sides. And I'm going to glue my sides. Okay, so that when I push this up, and I make sure they are on the edges. Oh, nice. Okay, we're going to burnish that down. Now, I haven't done anything fancy. And I'm going to take a piece of paper and push it down there to make that nothing is stuck. There we go. So sometimes right here you can do something fancy with a 1/2-inch circle, or make some tab circles and then makes this. And on another album we will do that, but this is just kind of a basic advanced. We're learning how to do different kind of papers. So what we have now is we have our second side with the pocket put in. And we want to go ahead and put these on each side. One on the right side and one on the left side. And I'm going to do the left side first. Actually, I'm going to burnish this down because it's not sitting down nicely. Okay, so I want to go ahead. My glue is getting a little dried out. I want to go ahead and put my glue on. And I'm going to put it to the bottom and to the left. I want it all to line up. Okay, and we will do this side. Taking away the extra glue. Okay, so there we have it, and we have a pocket and 2 folds, and we will work. I will show you how we are going to go ahead and close this. Oh, that's not even. Oh, great. Let's see if we can just burnish it down to make it even. Yeah, that's better. I will show you how we're going to keep this one closed when we decorate the next video, and it's really kind of cute. So what you will notice is sometimes I have made 2 of the same pages, and this is the one that we just, no, this is different. Anyway, I will make 2 of the same pages, and basically why I do that is I'm keeping a file folder of pages that I've made for reference with the measurements and everything like this inside of it. So you can have a big file folder, and you can, once you get a bunch of different pages made and stored, then you can have a reference to how you're going to do these. So I hope this video has been fun. I hope it's helped you. I hope you come back tomorrow and we'll have some more fun decorating. So thank you. See you next time.